Good morning, one and all. I am Dr. Ramya Swetha, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today, our topic is Introduction to Ground Modification Problem Solving. So here we have a different kind of things we are going to observe in our ground modification. That is, what is the need? That is the very important thing. Why need these objectives of the ground modification? What is the need of this? And what kind of objectives are involved in that? So these are the things involved in this ground modification. The next thing is identification of soil types. So what kind of types of how we are identify the soil types? It depends upon based on the test for understanding and based on the properties. So basically based on the properties we are going to understand all these things. So like this we are going to identify the soil types, and insight how we are identifying using these properties based on the test. So according to the laboratory and in situ test, we are going to categorize the problematic soils. In these mechanical methods, hydraulic methods, chemical methods, and electrical methods, physical methods, thermal methods, these kind of various classifications we are going to understand in this particular portion. So here we are understanding what is the need, what are the objects involved in this ground modification, how we are identify these soil types, what are the various in situ and laboratory tests to characterize the problematic soil. So in this, these are the various things we are going to understand. So for these different kinds of applications we are understanding in regular practical point of view. So here we improve soil properties to enhance the performance for construction purposes. So improve soil properties to enhance its performance for construction purposes. Here these kind where we are applied, that is required for the stabilization of the road foundation. For this solution is, so for stabilizing the road foundation, it is depends upon the it is the project. We know this is the project, and also what kind of desired property is required for this, we know things. Now what is the solution for this? Adding lime to clayey soil to reduce plasticity and increase load bearing capacity. So like this we are analyzing the all kind of what are involved technologies are available technologies according to the project requirement. We are choosing the solution. So in this, one more thing is identification of soil types. We are going to categorize the soil to understand its properties and behavior under various conditions. So here we are going to classify the mechanical properties and based on the size, grain size, distribution, so many based on the consolidation, density, porosity and plasticity, how much amount of the moisture content it is there in that particular soil. So according to that we are going to analyze what kind of property we are going to choose. As per that the classifications are done. So whether it is between the desired limits. So we are understanding these properties, and it means under various conditions we are understanding the behavior of those particular soil. So here foundation design for building we are considering. So that is the identification we are going to apply. Foundation design for building using unified soil classification systems determine that the soil is clay with low plasticity or adjust foundation design accordingly. So these kind of primary information we will understand in this introduction to ground modification. So here we required foundation design for building. So according to the identification of the soil type using the desired laboratory test, so we understand the soil type. So whether it is clayey or whatever it may be, we understand that is, for example, so that clayey with low plasticity means we need adjust foundation design accordingly. So it depends upon the which type of soil it is present in that particular project construction. where we are doing this project construction. It depends in the part of, as a part of identification of soil. We understand the type of soil. According to that, we choose the which type of property may affect for that particular construction work. These are the things we will understand in this particular unit. In this on-site and laboratory test to characterize problematic soils. So perform tests to determine soil properties and identify problematic soils. Here we are understanding that is the thing. So perform tests to determine the soil properties and identify the problematic soil. So for this, evaluating the soil strength for dam construction. So for any dam type of construction project, we are going to evaluate the soil strength. It means we are using these tests. Some of the tests we conduct in laboratory. In some of these tests on-site we are going to conduct. So conduct standard penetration test and triaxial test to measure the shear strength parameters. So for understanding the shear strength parameters, we are choose this SPT and triaxial tests. So for understanding the soil properties only we are going to conduct. So once we understand the properties, then only what kind of performance is required for the project. For getting that required project performance, which kind of property is going to modify. So these are the things, basic things we are coming from these laboratory tests. So in this we categorized various kinds of methods. That is, the one is mechanical methods, physical method, chemical method, hydraulic methods and thermal methods. So in these, understanding the mechanical methods improve soil properties through mechanical means. For example, densifying the loose sandy soil for foundation. So as per once we categorize, it depends upon the improve the soil properties under that particular respective category. So in that mechanical methods, once we consider this, we are going to apply densifying the loose sandy soil for a foundation. Use vibrocompaction. Calculate required compaction energy based on soil density and depth. So these are the things which we are going to understand in our, based on the understanding the categorized method. So now hydraulic methods. The hydraulic methods is nothing but it comes under in this water. So modify soil properties using water flow. Such type of categorization is comes under this hydraulic modification. In this, consolidation of soft clay for a highway embankment. So install prefabricated vertical drains. Calculate the consolidation time using the Trege's consolidation theory. So according to that, we are understanding the what are the various methods which are going to involve in this particular category. So what are the properties are going to need to modify, and what kind of technology is choose. Technique, what kind of technique which we choose is depends upon the scenarios, practical solutions. In these physical methods, move on to this change soil properties by altering its physical state. So in this, we are going to categorize the soil properties based on this altering the physical state of the soils. What are they available in that in terms of maybe freezing or maybe the densifying and supporting certain, the different kinds are involved in this. In this, we are going to apply freezing soil to create a temporary support for tunneling. So in this solution, use liquid nitrogen to freeze the soil, calculate the required cooling power based on the soil properties and the volume. This is the one of the example under this category. In this, move on to the chemical methods. Stabilize soil using chemical additives. So we are adding the admixtures and other chemicals. They are going to influence the soil properties whenever we are using, whenever we are adding such type, for they affect the property, that is the stabilization. So under this method, some of the techniques are involved. So we choose for stabilizing. Whenever we use stabilizing expansive soil under a pavement. So in this solution, mix cement with soil, determine the appropriate cement content through laboratory tests. And in these electrical methods, use electrical current to modify soil properties through laboratory testing. So in this, use electrical current and to modify the various properties of the soil using this electrical current. Such type comes under electrical methods. In this electro-osmosis process for dewatering the clay soil. So in this, apply direct current through electrodes inserted in the soil. Calculate the required voltage and current based on the soil properties and water content. In thermal methods, modify soil properties through heating or cooling. So whenever we are using this heating cooling techniques comes under this categorized method, that is the thermal methods. In this, once we consider the example, treating for frost have in soil for pipeline. So solution is install thermal installation or use heating cables. Calculate the required insulation thickness or heating power. These are the parameters which we are going to introduce in our particular introduction to the modification. In this, what are the detailed examples involved in this comes under category mechanical modification method. See this vibro compaction. Improve the density of loose soily sandals to support foundation for multi-story building. Here, the initial soil density is 1.5. The desired soil density is 1.8 gram per centimeter square. In this, the soil depth of the layer is 10 meters. Area to be compacted is 1000 meters square. Now here, calculate the volume of soil to be compacted. The first step is we are going to calculate the volume of the soil. Volume is equal to already area is given, depth is given. So finally, we will get this one. Now determine the mass soil before and after compaction. So mass before compaction is equal to, so as per the desired soil, initial soil density is multiplied with the volume, that gives the answer. Now mass after compaction, so desired soil property, so that gives the how much mass of after compaction we will get. And now calculate the energy required for this compaction. So now how much, that is the previous initial soil density is 1.5, desired soil density is 1.8. Now calculate the energy required for this compaction. This total energy V into energy per meter cube. So now we calculate in joules. So we'll get the answer after getting the calculation. Here we are assume 10 kilojoules per meter cube for sandy soil. In this, vibro compaction depth typically depends upon the depth and type of the soil. What energy it is, this vibro compaction where we use it, it depends upon the depth and type of the soil. Determine the number of passes with compaction. So assume each pass of compactor provides 5 kilojoules per meter cubes. Now we understand the number of passes, that is equal to total energy divided by energy per pass. So these many passes are required. So the soil can be densified to desired to support the foundation. So these are the things which we are going to understand. We are consider these mechanical method is one of the observation, and few more what kind of various methods involved in these soil modifications, those are we will see in our next class. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.